Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Alex, let's commence.
Yes. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the respected dignitaries of IIU, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, and the lovely audience present here from all around the world. It's a pleasure to welcome you to today's virtual conference organized by the African team, IIU. I am Alex Koleji from Togo, and I'm supposed to be here with Mpofu Tate from Zimbabwe. The two of us are going to moderate today's event. We are also very sorry for all the inconveniences due to the change of the timetable, the schedule for us to have this conference at this time of the day. We are so sorry. I hope you forgive us. So it's my privilege to welcome you all to IIU African Continent Virtual Conference Seminar on managing stress and developing resilience as leaders, organized by the International Internship University African Team, as I said, the first global virtual university offering quality, accessible, and location-independent education around in all areas. I'll now give the floor to Professor Charles Eboria, who is not to be presented anymore because you all know him, our dear General Chaplain. I'm giving him the floor to carry out the opening prayer for us. Professor Charles, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, everybody. Giving thanks to God for this great opportunity that are given to us. Giving thanks to IIU for giving us this great opportunity to showcase Africa via our conference of today. IIU, the world first virtual international internship university, is the change, brings the change, assisting and uplifting social activists, assisting those who endeavor to prepare the youth for a brighter future, supporting various kinds of group, institution, and corporate entity, ensuring that we make exceptional contribution in the area of social service and education. And finally, IIU is the revelation and is the education. We give glory to God for sparing our life, and we thank God for IIU Africa, who have been trying their best to make sure we showcase ourselves every month. And I pray that God will come to assist us and assist IIU so that we're able to actualize our vision. Today, IIU African Continent are in the 11th month of our noble conference. We invite every one of us to listen to our great topic, managing stress and developing resilience as leaders. We have distinguished speakers to enlighten us on this. And my short speech goes as follows. Stress is how we react when we feel under pressure and threatened. It actually happens when we are in a situation that we don't feel we can manage or control. For example, when you have lots of responsibility that you are struggling to manage. Managing stress is to recognize it in your life. Everyone feels stress in different ways. You may get angry, irritable, lost sleep, or have headache or stomach upset. If you are stressed, you might feel irritable, angry, impatient, or wounded up, overburdened, or overwhelmed, anxious, nervous, or afraid, unable to enjoy yourself, or uninterested in life. Stressed, like you have lost your sense of you need to reduce stress by being active, taking control, connect with people, challenge yourself, help other people, work smarter, not harder, avoid unhealthy, take some time for socializing, relaxation, or exercise. Try to be positive always. Accept the things you cannot change. Simple breathing exercise. 1 hour, you can prove to reduce stress. Laugh, not just funny. Folks, enjoy yourself with your friends. Relaxing music can slow the body psychological functions. A 10-minute walk will reduce cardiovascular activity and blood flow. And developing resilience as a leader. Reframe how you think. One of the most helpful tools in building resilience as a leader. Strive to continuously learn and grow. Cultivate relationship, build relationship. Be purpose-driven. Strive to continually learn and grow. Maintain a healthy perspective. Turn setback into opportunity for growth. Take care of yourself. Resilience elements called 7 C's: competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping. There are 3 P's of resilience. Path. I need to appreciate every one of us that are listening. And I pray that God will empower us so that we listen attentively. Guests of honor who are what we need to know further. May God come to strengthen us and empower us.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, everybody participating, everybody listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you for this wonderful prayer and this insightful introduction, giving us the definition of stress, explaining it, and the resilience, what it calls for. Thank you so much. I will now talk a little bit about the IIU team before I introduce our dignitary speakers. It is an honor to introduce the team IIU, the strong support of IIU, who all are working consistently to achieve the vision and mission of IIU by bringing the new era of education all over the globe. The inspiration of IIU, Sri Danji Swami Ji Maharaj, his blessings and guidance in every endeavor for IIU are stimulating. Trustees of IIU are as follows: Dr. Roshani Lal Mam, Ms. Anju Pandit, trustee of Swana Bharat Parivar, visionary founder of IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit, the man behind the success of IIU. Other co-founders of IIU, Mr. Stephen V, co-founder IIU Australia, Mona Angia, co-founder IIU Indonesia, board members of IIU, Ms. Corina Sujia, Vice Chancellor IIU, Ms. Nada Ratkovic, Country Director Croatia, Ms. Ermina Oprikan, Country Director Romania, Mr. Lufianto Yuda Pamungkas, Country Director Indonesia, Dr. Snigda Kadam, President Academic Global and IIU Research Center India, Ms. Masuda Yasmin, Education Ambassador India. IIU Advisory Council is as follows: Dr. Prachiba Mishra, India; Dr. N.G. Mathur, India; Dr. Parin Somani, India; Dr. Vijay Kumar Shah; Dr. Tipi Shashi Kumar; Academician Senior Professor Dr. Chaplain General Eboria Osiholo, Charles Continent Head, Africa IIU, Country Director, Nigeria. Let me continue as Mr. Tate is not yet around. let me continue with the rest. So the International Internship University.
Officer Charles, please start. We are Facebook Live.
Yes. Should I continue? Should I continue with the reading?
The agenda is there.
Internship University IIU is building a better and better future for all young learners and is committed to providing better virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internship to the e-learners across the globe. Talking about the cutting down of the additional costs is that once you are at your place, you can follow the courses online. You don't need to travel, buy tickets, flight tickets, and accommodation before you get education. IIU has been accredited and affiliated with the World Education Organization (WEO), International Accreditation Organization (IAO), and collaborated with all the world's top universities and educational institutions through the platform of Massive Open Online Courses (MOOC). IIU provides various certificates, including diploma, graduation, post-graduation diploma, post-graduation courses, and honorary doctorates. And we are planning one honorary doctorate award in December. IIU has received many accreditations as per international standards for its innovation, vision, creative ideas, research, and white papers publication. International Internship University IIU is building a better and better future for all young learners and is committed to providing better virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is the change, IIU brings the change, IIU is the revolution. IIU Council presents IIU WEC, Women Entrepreneur Council, IIU ISDC, International Student Development Council, IIU IYDC, International Youth Development Council, IIU International Council for Educators. IIU work is giving an opportunity to every woman on this globe to witness the uncultivated talents within her to be a successful women entrepreneur by joining IIU Women Entrepreneur Council. Women's empowerment is empowering women in all walks of life. If you're a woman and you're interested in developing your talents, then get in touch with the IIU work to explore all your hidden talents and competence. Dear women, be part of the international internship university work to improve what you already have. And now we go to IIU ISDC. Nation's future depends on students, the youth. Students Council helps to raise funds for school, college-wise activities, including social events, community projects, helping people in need and school reform. IIU IYGC Youth comes back once in life, according to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Youth is not defined by age or type. It is defined by your social energy and mature mind. Program focuses on developing young minds and making their one-time opportunity of lifetime achievement. And today's virtual conference and seminar is a part of this project to help the youth develop their mind and be good leaders. Knowledge and education are the basis for all things that can be accomplished in life. IIU ICE recognizes the contribution of educators all over the world in the field of education and welcomes them to change the lives of many more by imparting quality education and spreading knowledge worldwide. Many programs are given on the educators formation training for them to take up the challenges of education today. Sir Piyush Pandit, our founder. There's always that one person who has a vision, the thought, the idea behind a successful venture and organization. And if we talk about the man behind the success of IIU, it's none other than our beloved founder of IIU, Mr. Piyush Pandit, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds, possessing excellent administrative, verbal communication, and written skills. He's a next-gen speaker and passionate writer. Versatile Piyush Pandit is the founder of Swana Bharat River and chairman of Piyush Group. The visionary Piyush Pandit had just one dream: no child should be deprived of education. He concludes the world's first virtual internship university during a pandemic, the International Internship University, the IIU. The words are not enough for this discussion and hearty. Mr. Piyush Pandit, the multi-talented and devoted personality, has received a plethora of awards, recognitions, and honors in acknowledgement of his contribution to social work, education, entrepreneurship, and so on. The list of his milestones is endless. After the hearing about International Internship University, his council, you all must be excited about today's event. And as we announced it, Dr. Prof. Chaplain Delaboria Siolo, Charles Continent Head Africa IU, has already introduced the today's conference to the team to us. Now we're going to introduce the speakers to you. Our first speaker today will be Dr. Patricia Gonde, Zimbabwe, who is online already. Dr. Patricia Gonde from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa, mother of four, head of academics of Lusitania Primary School, holder of master's degree in educational management, brand ambassador Zimbabwe of ABCD International, brand ambassador of Women's Lives Exist, global coordinator IIU, International Council of Educators, global educator ambassador of Yes You Can International, country coordinator, global educators network, and author, country director of IIU Zimbabwe. Dr. Patricia, you have the floor. Nourish us with your experience and sharing.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, moderator. First of all, I would like to appreciate and recognize important people in IIU, Sir Piyush Pandit Sir, and all the IIU team, our African head of IIU, Dr. Charles Eboria. I would like to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity today, just to share about stress management and how to become resilient leaders. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I would like to say, yes, in this world that we are living in, especially after COVID-19, so many people were affected, especially we have mental health issues, we have people abusing drugs, substance abuse. All that is because of stress. And what is this animal called stress? Stress, according to Google, these are changes that cause physical, emotional, and or psychological strain on people. And then how the body responds to anything that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain is what we call stress. And our coping mechanisms or styles differ. How and when we react to stressful situations is totally different from how I react to how, say, Charles reacts to stress. And then what causes stress to someone might not cause stress to someone. Let me just give an example. Here in Africa or here in Zimbabwe, we know that electricity, we have got, we have electricity, sometimes load shedding, and we are now used to it so much that it doesn't cause stress. But if it happens to another country, for example, when my daughter migrated to another country, they had black snow, and then they didn't have electricity and water. So many people were hospitalized because they are not used to it. So our coping mechanisms differ due to maybe how we are made. And I know that some how we know that, how do you know that you are being stressed? This also differs. Some people have sleepless nights, some have got sleeping disorders, some lack of concentration, so much that even if someone asks your name, sometimes you don't even know what it is. And then some people they experience fear, instability, heart palpitations caused by the adrenaline flow, and then sometimes it leads to heart attack. And some people tend to have a substance abuse. And what causes stress? Stress is caused by so many things, like, for example, some people like joblessness, death, maybe barrenness, family issues, work-related issues, medical conditions, and maybe just work-related issues like pressures from work. And is there any age group that is stressed? Anyone can be stressed, from children to adults. That's why we see so many of our teenagers, so many of our mothers and fathers having substance abuse. And some people, we have so many suicidal cases. I mean, a group of a group of headmasters each and every day, a WhatsApp group that has got so many headmasters. Every day we hear condolence messages of children as young as 10 or young as 9 years committing suicide. Maybe pressure from home, maybe pressure from the school, stress. And then maybe that's why we are also having so many violence cases that are happening, so many homicides cases, unexplained death, and so many heart attacks. That is maybe caused by stress or depression. So the way we manage stress also depends on what has affected it. And as leaders, I think you should be able to know what triggers your stress. Each and every person should know what causes stress in them. Maybe it's because you are not able to juggle between work and life. And also, some people are not able to cope with what has caused that stress. Let me talk about leadership stress. Sometimes the demands of the job itself might cause stress, and you end up having a burnout. Sometimes it is the task related, or it is the work relationships. Sometimes the environment is so toxic that you every day you wake up saying that I don't want to go to work. Is because of the environment. Sometimes it is the disgruntled clients. Maybe your product that you have maybe delivered, there are clients who are not happy about. Or is it the difficult employees? And how do you manage your time? Maybe how you manage your time is also causing the stress or the workload that you have. Maybe there are upcoming challenges. There is a board meeting that is coming. The audit is coming. And then you have got an event that is coming. Promotion is coming. Sales patterns are not good. All those can trigger what we call stress. And so, how do you manage stress? I would like to take the word resilient. I learned this from Dr. Charles, normally uses the acronyms resilient itself. How do we manage to be resilient? Looking at the word ARA, you must reach out. Do not be afraid to ask for help. And do not be afraid to discuss the problems that you are having. And also be helpful. And sometimes it is quite helpful for you to see that, oh, I've got such a workload. Let me delegate the tasks. You have line managers, you have everyone whom you can work with. Let's try by all means to reach out when we see that we are having problems, when we see that there's you need something to be done, and then you ask some people to help you. And then E for resilient, we should be able, like what Dr. Charles said, to exercise regularly. Take go for some walks, go to the gym, and you exercise. And also, not only you, even employees encourage regular breaks as well. And then we should be able also, if we are facing challenges, we should be able to embrace those challenges and come up with solutions to the challenges, so that those challenges do not take a toll in our leadership. Then, looking at the word S, stay fit and exercise and sleep enough. You should have enough sleep. Remember, I said that we can see that someone is stressed, some people, because of the sleeping patterns. So make sure you sleep enough. And also, as can maybe you can make use of the strength of the employees in your organization. When faced with challenges, there is power in tapping into the people whom we are working strengths into their strength. And then you know that sometimes you are energized by the strength of the people in your organization. Looking at the word I, integrity, live their values and walk as a leader. You must always walk the talk. Do the right thing, even if it means that you become unpopular. And then be caring, be a good listener, listen to your employees, maybe their needs. They also have mental health issues that you need to listen to. I can also stand for being influential in an organization. As we know that according to John Maxwell says, leadership is influence. How do you influence people in your organization? Influence. Then L, what leadership style are you using? Is it democratic? Is it autocratic? It also will tell you sometimes if we are if you are a dictator, sometimes that's when you have disgruntled employees, and then it will stress you. So make sure that the leadership style that you are using can lead to a stress-free life. Then I, be an inspiring leader. Be an inspire a shared vision in any organization. I know that there is a vision. Inspire people towards that vision. An inspiring leader is that leader that people want to follow. And as a leader, know that they cannot, you should also know that they should also know that they cannot achieve their goals alone. Be someone who is inspiring. And if we are to be a resilient leader, we know that every organization, sometimes we experience times when sometimes we hit roadblocks, sometimes we hit walls, or even if a project fails. But how you react to these situations will be noticed by team members, and it can spiral, or can say it can have a ripple effect in the production also amongst your team members. So inspiring leaders will learn from whatever situation, and they will always bounce back from any adversity. An inspiring leader will show his or her resilience by keeping their emotions in check and look for ways to adapt whatever challenging situation you are having, as opposed to blaming team members. So that is I, inspiring leader. A resilient leader enables others to act, to move people in a certain direction towards productivity. You can move people to react. Ask not what your, for example, I can give an example of what John F. Kennedy said, that ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So enable others to act. And leaders, a resilient leader causes people to act towards organizational goals, and then removing those stresses that we are talking about. And then letter N stands, sometimes you have to learn to say no to some of the demands that you are given. Sometimes we need to challenge the process itself, and a resilient leader can do this. And then you will be stressed by sometimes learning to say no. Then T stands for time management. How do you manage your time as a leader? Sometimes you will see that you will not be able to balance work and life activities. So you need to balance the two. For example, there are people who are called separators. They separate work and life tasks and commitments. They have a clear boundary, and work stuff is work stuff. It's left at work, and life stuff is at home. Then if you are a leader, you can also be an integrator, whereby you blend your work with personal tasks at home throughout the day. Then there are people whom we call their cyclers, who switch back and forth between periods of integration and family work. Then some people manage stress by putting work first. They put their work schedule first and protect their work time. Because this type of people, they work schedules interrupt family time. For example, you are at a child's maybe event, you have gone for a sporting event, and then a phone call comes from work. You allow the phone call to interrupt your family time, and then you take the call, or you're sending emails. Then we have people who manage stress by putting family first. You put the family schedule first, where work can be interrupted by family needs. For example, your child is sick, you are able to rearrange work so that you can be able to take your child or your spouse to hospital. So managing stress, we should be able to manage stress and develop resilient leaders, sometimes by the important facts that I've given you. So it's up to you as leaders to juggle between work and life. Sometimes you need the support groups that help you there to give you emotional support, cognitive support. You need a coach or a mentor. Sometimes you see that I cannot be able to accomplish this. I need a mentor. I need a coach like my brother who is here at Yogun. Maybe he can help as well. Sometimes you need self-support. And most importantly, as a leader, we should be able to know what is called self-leadership. This is the person who is in front of you when you are in the mirror and you are looking at yourself. This is the most difficult person to lead, is you. So you should be able to lead yourself well. Be on time, be organized, be able to go ahead of others, not knowing but going all the way with others. And you need to know, for you to accomplish self-leadership, there are two laws that I need to explain. The law of the lead, whereby your leadership ability will determine the level of effectiveness. You should be able to lead yourself, or the law of process, whereby leadership develops daily and not in a day. So you are able to juggle whatever I say about work life and home life. We should be able to strike the balance and be stress-free most of the time. Thank you, IIU, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patricia Kwade,
Good
for
one.
sharing a part of ideas on video and learning, ideas on managing stress and developing resilience among leaders. As I noted, indeed, we need to separate work life and work life, and you also touched on the ways we can tackle or manage stress by having mentors, coaches, and you also went on to define detail what stress is all about and how it can affect our work life. So indeed, there is a need for us to balance work life and life. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
You're welcome, Tenda.
It is my truly honor. It is my truly honor
He's having network problem. Ambassador Tatinda, are you
Sorry
having problems with your
about
network?
sorry about that. Um, it is my truly honor and privilege to introduce our next speaker, um, Ambassador Ijoma Esther Namdi. Um,
Oh,
she is an education consultant in Nigeria, internationally recognized multi-award winning digital media entrepreneur, publisher. She's also a publisher of Africa's leading health motherhood magazine titled Mommy and I magazine, which which features a top A-list personalities, celebrities, and results lives of over 100,000 women in 14 countries across their digital media platforms. She has also proven she has a proven track record of excellence in management and instrumental to the success of several multinational. She is also a renowned global speaker, creative content consultant, YouTuber, published author, scientist, and global and public health expert certified by University at Albania State University of New York. In addition to his various advanced positions, he is also the convener, founder, led Talk International, which is a community of over 8,000 women from different countries, which is a CSR initiative by Mami and I Magazine, solely for mentoring, empowering, and educating women to help them live a productive life, to rise to the peak of their career while maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Due to our common commitment and consistency in empowering the lives of young girls, women, she was invited by the office of the wife of the executive governor of Abia State, Deaconess Kechi, who is a special guest speaker to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child in 2018 in respect to a multifaceted impact over the years. It is my honor and my privilege to introduce you, Ambassador Ijoma. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ambassador Tatendo. I don't know if I got the name correct. Thank you so much for that. And good afternoon, respected Professor Charles. I greet you, sir. Good to see you once again. I also appreciate Professor Ravinda, Dr. Kayode, and other colleagues that are here with me. Good to see each and every one of you once again. And thank you, International Internship University, for setting this up. We really appreciate. So today we are looking at the topic, managing stress and developing resilience as a leader. We all know the meaning of leadership. A leader is one who leads. A leader is one who serves. A leader is one who sets the pace, the one that everyone looks up to get things done. And one thing about leadership, because I believe we all are leaders in different capacity, in different strengths. And one common denominator about leadership is stressful. Is a given, not experience stress one way or the other. So as a leader, how do you manage stress? How do you ensure you don't break down? How do you ensure you've done? Because to be in the best shape, to be in the best frame of mind, in order to get things done. So how do you make one of the first things you need to do as a leader is to prioritize self-care. You need to ensure you are in the best state of mind. You need to ensure that in as much as you are a servant to everyone, in as much as you are selfless, you put the needs of others first before attending to your own needs. In as much as you are a pace setter, you are someone everyone looks up to get things done. You need to also take care of yourself. We've seen cases where leaders slump. We've seen cases where leaders break down as a result of stress. We've seen leaders suffering from anxiety disorders. And we've seen a lot of, cardiovascular diseases that a lot of leaders have experienced at one point in time. So you need to prioritize self-care. In as much as you are there to lead, in as much as you're there to guide, in as much as you are there to make sure that everyone is fine, you should also prioritize your care. You should also take care of yourself. You should also take note of, your health history. You should also know your medical history. Take the needed medication you need to take and ensure you are at your best performance, because your people need you. Your followers need you. Your family need you. Your loved ones need you. So that's one of the ways you can manage stress. The second way you can manage stress is to learn to say no. Learn to say no by setting manageable priorities. Think about the activities and projects that are absolutely central to your organizational goals. Whatsoever that is irrelevant to your organizational goals, whatsoever that is irrelevant to getting the needed things done, whatsoever that is irrelevant to your pursuits, to the dreams of your organization, to the dreams of your employees, people working for you, whatsoever that is out of scope within the organizational goals per month, some people have organizational goals that they set for the organization on the weekly basis. Some have on monthly basis. Some have on quarterly basis, every quarter of the year. They have things they want to achieve. So you need to learn to say no to anything that will make you not to achieve that organizational goals per time. Because if you try to do everything together, you will end up hurting yourself, and you may end up not achieving the best. You may end up not having the peak performance that you look forward to. In Igbo land, there is an adage, they say that that's, you don't put all the fingers in your mouth at the same time. It's an adage, and it simply means that you cannot do everything at the same time. So you must have priority. You must have things you want to do. Always go to your priority list, and anything that doesn't tick the box, anything that won't help you achieve your goal at that time, say no to it in order to save yourself some strength. Another thing you need to do, another way to manage stress, is to narrow your focus. Narrow your focus. One of the ways to attain your goals, one of the ways to achieve peak performance is to ensure you narrow your focus. Your eyes should be on that particular goal that you want to achieve at that time. A distracted leader is a disorganized leader. A stressed out leader cannot narrow his or her focus. So you need to ensure that you are focused on your dreams. You are focused on that goal you have for your organization. As a leader, you could be an entrepreneur. You may not even be working in a corporate organization, or you may not be working for a multinational. It could be you running your own business with people under you, with employees under you, people in your payroll. So you must learn to narrow your focus. Remember, your effectiveness, the effectiveness of an organization rest on your shoulders and the shoulders of your employee. So they need to see how focused you are. They need to see how target-driven you are. They need to see how goal-oriented you are. And this is one of the things that will help your organization. For instance, I was once into sales. I was a brand officer for Chief Pharmaceuticals with headquarters at Chivita Avenue, Ikeja. And when I was with them, you know, in sales, you have your monthly targets that you must meet. And when you meet the monthly target, there are incentives. So what do? Whatsoever that will make you not to achieve your targets for the month, you strike it off. Whatsoever that will distract you from not meeting up, you strike it off, because you know that when you underperform, after a time, it would definitely draw you down and you may not get the needed promotion you deserve. So what do? You double your efforts, you triple your efforts, you make sure that you achieve your goal by time. And that was one of the things that helped me. At least while I was with them, I was the #1 BCO twice while working for the organization. How was I able to hit that? Because I met my target back to back. I even exceeded the targets, which made me get extra incentives. So that is the power of focus. When you are focused, when you narrow your focus as a leader, it will even reduce your stress, because you will get to eliminate things that are unnecessary. Things that will remove your eyes from the goal, things that will make you to underperform, you strike it out. Another thing that will help you to manage stress as a leader is don't be afraid to ask for help if need be. No man is an island. No man is a compendium of knowledge. We all need each other, no matter how productive you think you are, no matter how great you think you are. If you like, be a workaholic, work 24/7 a day, you still need people. You need to ask for help when necessary. Don't fail to ask for help. Don't fail to delegate duties. That is another point. Delegate duties. You must not do it all. You know, a lot of times we as leaders, we feel if we don't do this, nobody can do it. You know, sometimes you feel you are the best. If you don't get this thing done, no other person in your organization can get it done. And if that is your mindset, it means you are not really doing good. You are not doing amazing as a leader. Because as a leader, the people under you, the people that are being led by you, should be able to be as productive as you are. When you are not there, they should be able to, you know, take decisions, take top-notch decisions that will take the organization to the next level. You mustn't always be there to get things done. You need to train people. That's why companies go on to do training. You know, train your staff, train your employee, train people under your payroll. Let them know how to be productive. Let them know how to be efficient. Let them know how to be effective and how to be great decision takers. Teach them the ability to negotiate, because you mustn't always be there. There are times that your family will need you. There are times that you may have other commitments. So when you don't have people that can work in your absence, people that can get things done in your absence, you are increasing your stress invariably. So you need to train people. You need to delegate. Tell them it's better for you to delegate duties to them. And when they can't meet up, when they make mistakes, you correct them. You teach them the right thing. If you don't give them that opportunity to make mistakes, they will never learn it. But when you give them the opportunity to make mistakes, learn from their mistakes, you find out that the next time they will do that same task, they will perform better. Another thing you need to do in order to manage stress is to set healthy boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. As a leader, you need to have a clear-cut boundary lines. Imagine living in a house without a fence. You find out that anything can easily walk into your compound, both animals, both dangerous animals, or name it. But when you are living in a fenced compound, you find out that it gives you some measure of security. I want you to imagine it. When you are a leader and you don't have boundary lines, you are open, you are prone to disaster, you are prone to stress, because you are accepting everything without saying no to things you need to say no to. So you must set healthy boundaries as a leader. And in the course of leadership, you will experience challenges. You experience challenges that will hit you. Challenges such as fear of uncertainty. Government policies can come up and disrupt your business. It could even be unfavorable weather condition. It could be a disease outbreak. So there are uncertainties that will make you anxious about the future. There are uncertainties that make you feel like you are stressed out. So what do? You need to learn resilience. What is resilience? Resilience for handle situations. Resilience network changes. I'm so sorry. Hello? Please, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So resilience is one of the abilities, one of the things that distinguishes you as a leader. You shouldn't be knocked down by situations. You shouldn't be knocked down by situational complexities and perplexities, because they are bound to happen. So when push comes to shove, when there is a hammer in your wheel, what do? How do you handle it as a leader? Your ability to be pessimistic, your ability to be optimistic, your ability to shove off every form of pessimistic thinking, every form of pessimistic thoughts, is what helps you to be resilient as a leader. So you need to ensure that no matter the situation, no matter the uncertainties, you need to keep being positive. Keep being positive. Keep affirming the things you want to see in your organization. Learn the power of affirmations. Learn the power of affirmations. Affirmations are wonderful. Every day, what do you say? Every day, what do you speak into existence? What do you speak? What are the things you tell your employees? Because the vision is not just for you as the visionary. You need to sell the vision to your employees. You need to sell the vision to people working with you. They need to have the same fire. They need to have the same passion, just the way you do. That's how they can move the organization forward. So as a leader, you need to develop resilience and know that whatever challenges you encounter part-time, you have all it takes to navigate your way through. You have all it takes to conquer and emerge victorious. So I believe with this point, this will help each and every one of us as leaders and help us take our dreams, our organizational goals and aspirations to the next level. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, wow. Indeed, where we are learning. As I quoted, a successful leader is a disorganized leader, and it was said that being a leader is always stressful sometimes, but there is the need for a leader to develop the resilience to manage situations, and that leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities that might be stressful. Ambassador Ijoma also highlighted on that a leader should have self-care. They should take care of themselves. So if they are able to take care of themselves, they'll be able to take care of the organization and the team. And secondly, she also touched that a leader ought to have manageable priorities or goals. So I believe when a leader becomes over ambitious or sets goals that are unimaginable, that might bring the stress that you are talking about. So as a way of developing that resilience, a leader ought to develop ought to have manageable goals. Thirdly, she also said we should set boundaries. We should have self boundaries that do not jeopardize our goals as a leader. So um, she also said a leader ought to be optimistic and pessimistic as the team or the organizational team, they look up to that leader. When the leader is resilient, too, the workers are resilient. Thank you so much, Ambassador Ijoma, for sharing such powerful point. Thank you so much. Um, Moving on, it is my honor to introduce you, Professor Rivand, Professor mm, Professor Rivanderen from South Africa. Professor Ravi is Professor of Economics and is also the country director for IIU in South Africa. Rivanderen is a profound academic, distinguished scholar in economics, writer, editor, advisor, motivational speaker, and public intellectual with over 29 and research experience in Asia Pacific, Africa, and European continent. He has been he has been in Africa He has, he has been an independent consultant and a training expert. Professor Rena is intentionalized, is currently working as a professor of economics and intentionalized project leader at the NWU Business School, Northwest University, South Africa. He serves as the honorary country director, South Africa, for IIU. He also serves an adjunct professor of economics for master's and doctorate programs at Monash Business School, Monash University, Gedon, Show in Switzerland. Previously, he worked as a professor of economics at the Department of Economics at the University of the Western Cape, Cape Town, South Africa. He also served as a professor coordinator during African Masters Program, Herald Graduate School of Business at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, also the University of Technology, Paul New Guinea. Professor Renner earned his PhD from the Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad, India, with the achievement of the University Gold Medal. Indeed, it is an honor to have you in this platform as you share your ideas on managing stress and developing resilience as leaders. Over to you, Professor.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, wherever you are. Thank you, Tatendo, to invite me and also give me the wonderful introduction. It's indeed always a proud privilege for me to be part of this international internship university. I, as a country director of South Africa, always, enthusiastically participate in African conferences. Well, the topic that was chosen by today by the organizers on 27th of November 2022, it's very, very important topic that, how to manage our stress and how to be resilient and how to be a leader. So that is what basically is the topic of today. Now, irrespective of the level where you are, whether you are a student leader or you are a worker leader, or you are a corporate sector leader, or you are a political leader or a cultural leader, everyone is a leader one way or the other way. We all got leaders in different phases of our life. We got junior level leaders, we got medium level leaders, we got probably senior level leaders, and so on. So we must remember that, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not the authority. Leadership is always a responsibility. But people, they take that, those people who are sitting with the power, they think that leadership is an authority. Absolutely, they're all wrong. Those who think leadership is an authority, they misuse the leadership, they misuse the power, they cannot be leaders at all. No matter they may be ruling the countries for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years down the line, they cannot be leaders forever, or even they cannot be leader at all. So leadership, a leader is there to always, we need to make a cognizant to that leader is always there to lead us, not to rule us. But unfortunately, in the current day world, or in the current world in 21st century, or even in 20th century, the leaders, whoever are leading in different levels as I indicated, they're all trying to rule the people, not lead the people. That is absolutely wrong. No leader is born. If a leader is there, it is a responsibility given to him that he can do a better job than other fellow colleagues. Doesn't mean that he's empowered or superpowered by any means, by any standards that he can lead the people. So he's a simple human being like you and I. There's no way that he can able to do better than even some of the subordinates can do better than him. So it is a responsibility. One has to understand that. The other important thing I'd like to emphasize here, ladies and gentlemen, the leaders, some of them are spiteful, or many of them, in fact, not some of them, many of them are very spiteful and evil-hearted, evil-minded leaders. If they are come to the power, then some of the poor, innocent employees, even they do not do anything wrong, they will lose their jobs for no reason. This is what is happening in this world, whether it is corporate sector, education sector, health sector, or whichever sector that we talk about. That is absolutely, they cannot go anywhere. They are like flat tires. The leaders who has got that attitude, they are absolutely like flat tires. They cannot go anywhere with that flat tire. So we must also remember that leadership is a responsibility that is given to you, that you are going to carry the burden, that you sacrifice for your people. You do the good things for your people more than yourself. You have to look into the welfare and the benefits of your fellow colleagues who are depending upon you, who are your subordinates. That's what is important, ladies and gentlemen. If you cannot able to do that, you are not fit for the leadership position at all. Whether you are a country president, whether you are a minister or a prime minister, or a chief minister or a premier or MEC, or whoever you are, that is the bottom line actually. You must always think that the stress is one of the important points. I was reading a PhD thesis as an external examiner a few months ago that surprising to note that 80 to 95% of the workforce or the workplaces, they have the stress. Whether it's America, India is the worst place to have the stress. African continent is also obviously another worst place for the having a lot of stress. So stress cannot be delinked from our life. It is always there, one way or the other way. Our family members themselves, they will create stress for us. Our colleagues will stress for us. Our bosses, our leaders also stress for us. Everybody, we are not equal to each other. We are coming from different backgrounds. So therefore, all these people, they will try to give more stress every single day. If you think that one stress is over, there could be 10 other stress points are going to come and bother you. So therefore, you need to balance it. How we need to balance it? Some of the previous speakers, they were also mentioning about exercising, for example. Exercising and walking, swimming, or doing some physical exercises, physical movements of your body is very, very important for every one of us. Even animals, for example, rabbit also do exercise, birds do the exercise, monkeys also do the exercise. So similar way, we need to do exercise, no matter whether you are a laborer working hard labor or whether you are a officer doing a blue collar job, you still need to do the exercise. If you do not do the exercise, and bad cholesterol that will accumulate in our body system, and your body is slowly getting weaker and weaker, it is not going to be energetic. If you spend more energy from your body, you are going to get more energy. It will multiply. There is in economics, we say multiplier effect. So it will multiply actually. You need to begin to know how to spend your energy from your body. It is not necessarily that you can go for the gym and do the gymming for 1 hour or 2 hours. No, you can do that physical exercise by any means. You even go and help some needy people. There could be old people, children, or youth. You just go and do. Or even if you do not have anything to do, go and try to collect some garbage from different places. And even while collecting the garbage, you are cleaning the environment wherever you are living, but you are also helping yourself, that it will affect your health positively, that you are doing something good. Psychologically, you feel better. And physically, you are moving, you are bending, doing some kind of physical activity. That would help a lot. So these are the things people they need to do. And also remember that, ladies and gentlemen, there is a formula called 8 plus 8 plus 8, meaning that in 24 hours that we have, whether the richest man like Elon Musk has got 24 hours, President Joe Biden has got 24 hours, you and I, all our people sitting here, we also got 24 hours. Nobody has got less time, nobody has got more time. Within this 24 hours, what are you going to do as a leader or as a common man? And how are you going to manage your stress? That is very important. So 8 hours you need to do. If you are a servant, if you are a civil servant, if you are a worker or an employee, try to dedicate that 8 hours perfectly for your job. And so that you don't have any regret that you are working less than what they are paying you, or you are working more than what they're paying you. You try to balance it sincerely with utmost dedication. You spend that 8 hours for your employer. That's number one. 8 hours, second 8 hours, try to sleep. I know people, they talk, some people, they advise that 6 hours sleep is enough. Some people, they say 7 hours is enough, 8 hours is enough. So rather you try to sleep. The ideal time would be 10 to 5 o'clock. That is the time, 10 to 6 o'clock rather. That is the time you try to sleep. So 8 hours sleep is important. That means you got 16 hours gone from your 24 hours day. The remaining 8 hours is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you are a professor, whether you are a vice chancellor, whether you are a director, whether you are a dean or a lecturer or maybe a teacher or a peon or working as a security guard or a clerk or a business person, whoever you are a top level VVIP, very, very important person. Doesn't matter. The remaining 8 hours, the last portion of the 8 hours is important for you in your life. How to balance that? So there is a formula that is HH, your health and hygiene. You need to spend some time for that. That's where the exercise comes. Your health and hygiene is important, and your spirituality, spirituality, whether you pray to Jesus Christ, whether you pray to Allah, whether you pray to Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna, or whichever God that you believe in, you need to spend some time for the spirituality. And then you need to have sanitary kind of aspects where you need to look into your sanitary. You're cleaning the place, you're cleaning, you keep it with utmost sanitation, and you maintain that sanitation. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind. If you balance this, and community service also is very important in our life. So these 8 hours per day, sometimes you may spend less, sometimes you may not spend at all, but you make sure that on an average per week, you try to spend these 8 hours on these kind of activities. You never go wrong in your life. That is the kind of balance. If we do not balance ourselves, people are going to be killed. In fact, there are a lot of CEOs heading a lot of big companies, multi-million-dollar companies. They got heart attacks at the age of late 20s, late 30s, late 40s. So stress, remember, ladies and gentlemen, is a silent killer, is a slow poison actually. So it will keep killing without you knowing about the stress. So stress is more dangerous than HIV/AIDS. Stress is more dangerous than the pandemic that we are experiencing, coronavirus pandemic. So ladies and gentlemen, I've seen so many CEOs across the globe in India, in America, or anywhere in the world. They died at a young age. Doesn't mean that they are not doing exercise. Doesn't mean that they are not trying to balance the food habits and other aspects. They are trying to do everything despite the fact doing everything, trying to balance, but the stress is taking more space in their life. That is why they get heart attacks, they get killed so quickly. So therefore, we always think that when you talk about health and a wealth management system, we think that whenever you talk about alcohol, and we think that alcohol is more dangerous. Whenever we look at cigarette, we also think that cigarette is injurious to health. We always think about the sweets, that a lot of sweets, lot of varieties of sweets are there. We also think that no, they are also dangerous to health. We always think that the food items like KFC, McDonald's, and maybe other takeaways also harmful to the health. But actual fact, nobody thinks what is the more dangerous thing for us in the life, in day-to-day life. Nobody thinks, nobody knows. The thing that you can be surprised to hear is that the chair that you are sitting in your office, you sit number of hours in your chair. But the moment when you leave your office, you'll be sitting on the chair. If you're driving a car, you'll be sitting there, the chair again. You go home, you'll be sitting in the chair again. Whether it's a sofa set or a dining table, you'll be sitting in the chair. So the number of hours you are going to sit on daily basis, ladies and gentlemen, that is more harmful to you. That is worse than all other alcohol, cigarette, the donuts and the sweets and all of the takeaways and the whatever the food that we take outside. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, I'd like to advise every one of us here that health is very important. If you are not alive, then everything collapses. The people, those who are dependent upon you, they will also lose you, but you are no longer in this world. We are all here for a very temporary life, ladies and gentlemen. We are not here permanently. We're not going to live for 100 years or 500 years. We live maximum, if you're lucky, 50 to 100 years. That is the range you live. And remember that I just would like to mention one important thing before I close, that you are number one. Whether you are head of the family or tail of the family, you are number one as a human being. The first zero is your parent. Your second zero is your father, let's say, your mother and father first zero. That made your value 100. Then you got children, they put another zeros that make 100,000. You got qualification that put another zero that will make maybe 1,000,000. That is your value. But if you, number one, are missing, if you fall down because of your health, if you die, all these zeros will not make any value. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, every human being should make yourself number one, take care of your health, and try to balance your stress, and think that you are not here for a long time. You are here temporarily, so that whatever problem that comes in your way, it will be resolved one day or the other day. So no problem is permanent. Every problem is temporary. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you should be, your stress is important in your life, and you as a leader or not a leader, you also should balance your life. With these few words from my side, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the International Internship University and the moderator of this program, and also the Charles, our colleague from Nigeria, and all other colleagues from different corners of the globe. I'd like to thank for the opportunity, and I wish you a pleasant evening, one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Ravinda. Thank you so much for the ideas that you have shared. Indeed, a leader ought to stay healthy. They ought to have time to rest and they have a social life. Um, Indeed, we have heard that it is not only uh, chess that choose leaders. Um, um, as you all know, as shared by Professor Ribanda, he said uh, it is not the food we eat, the cigarettes or whatever, any other intake we do have. It is the stress that mostly kills leaders. So a leader also to be a leader of the people and should not be spiteful. I noted. Thank you so much once again, Professor Vanda. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege again to introduce to you our next speaker, Dr. Ambassador Karishma Mani. Dr. Karishma Mani is based anchor of Kochi and film actress who holds several awards for different talents. She has been bestowed with the 15 world records and 700 plus international awards, as, a, as well as 23 doctorates from international countries for her God gifted two beautiful colors of eyes, same as called initial. I don't have to pronounce that. Um, she's also a model and a journalist who has worked with many media channels like GTPL, Live News ETC, and now she's editor in chief of Incredible News. Ma'am, we're glad to have you. Over to you.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Mr. Tinda, for the wonderful introduction of mine. And good evening to all the honorable guests present on the IIU platform. And special thanks to my brother, Professor Riboria Charles, who have been inviting me every time and supporting me. I'm also a PRO of TPRMI, a very prestigious organization of Africa, and also associated with Professor Dr. Charles from 2 years, and working under him, under his organization, is a wonderful experience as well. And today with this, I begin with my topic stress. So first, I would like to say the best thing to deal with the stress is to simply relax. That is the best way to deal with stress, that we have to relax sometimes. We are so burdened with stress that we cannot think further. We have been reading all the times many of the poems and many of the things where we are learning how to deal with stress, many of the management courses we did, how to deal with stress, but still we get overburdened due to time, due to situations, or due to the happenings going on around us. Like in corona period, the most stressable period of everyone's life. So everyone has been done or dealt with such a situation of stress, and I don't know how it unnaturally comes into our body. And mostly it is also a survey that most of the 90% psychosomatic disease comes due to stress only, because every disease you face, or every of the long lasting diseases, if you face, like it's diabetes or blood pressure or any kind of other diseases, if you face, then it is all due to the stress. Okay, so how we can deal with the stress is the basic question, and there were wonderful answers, like as Professor Ravindra Rana told, that we have to do some exercises that also keeps our mind healthy, and many of other views were there to be positive and all. But I would say the best way to deal with stress is to also keep your mind healthy by doing some of the meditation. It helps you to relax your mind, to be with yourself, and as long as you be with yourself, you will get the ability to deal to come out of the stress and to focus on your vision, to move on, to focus on your career more and more. So meditation helps you to be more and more clear how to deal with stress. And also it is very must nowadays to do meditation. But in many of the countries, in many of the platforms, people only focus on physical exercise. No, mind exercises is also needed, heart exercise is also needed, our inner soul exercises, inner soul purification is also needed, which deals out of the stress. So I would also suggest focusing on physical as well as meditation part is also required. And for that you need to do some of the meditations too, which helps to calm your mind, to deal out of stress, and which helps you to make more and more focused on your career, focused on your goals, and to move on better in lives, to make do a lot of decisive activities. So it is only possible through meditations more of more. So I would just request everyone that those who are dealing with stress, try meditation paths along with physical exercises too. That will help you out for sure, to manage your stress and everything. In COVID time, there were lots of stress, but many people, those who were focused, those who were calm at that situation, tried out many new creative things in COVID situations too. So that is also that we have to keep our mind relaxed every time. Stress is a part of everyone's life. Everyone goes with one or the other situation, but how to get out of it, it only depends on us and us. Nobody is going to help us in such a situation. We will only get advices, but the best thing we can do is to believe in ourselves to get out of it. And we have to be stubborn. No, I don't want any stress, I want to get out of it. We have to regularly push our mind with such an energy. No, I have to move on, I have to move on. There's no place of stress in my life. My life is the best, the life. I thank God for my life. So if you make such affirmations, make such positive things and positive quality in your mind, then definitely you are going to deal with any kind of stress. It should be like a check post that no matter however the things are, we have to get out, we have to fight, and we have to be a warrior, we have to brave, and we have to deal with it. That is the best solution of stress. So as soon as we remember the solutions, we can easily manage our stress and all. And yes, things take time to get solved, but this is the best way we can keep ourselves healthy. We do not need to get down out of stress, or we do not need to take stands. There are some situations too, there are some planets too, which makes situation unhealthy in each one's of life. But how to deal with it, how to regularly move on such situation, how to work, it all depends on us. So our courage, our brave mind, and we have to keep our mind as well as body strong to deal out of such stress. So I believe that the best thing we can do is whenever we have stress, okay, we have to meditate sometime. If you cannot meditate, then just go in a good room, sit with yourself, listen to some good music, and just keep your eyes closed, and just remember good things happened with you. Your stress will immediately get solved, get removed on. But to deal permanently with stress, the meditation is the best factors. So I would request each one of you to try meditation and guided meditation, because if you're going meditations with such YouTube and all, it doesn't work. Go for some guided meditation. You will learn how to do. And there is one more thing, you can get also rid of some stressful thoughts if you know the breathing techniques. Like there are many things we can stop our breath, hold for some time, and then release our breath. Okay, so breathing also helps to remove negative emotions from our mind. It's also a technique to remove bad thoughts from our mind, or bad stress from our mind. And yes, exercises also releases our toxin and stress. And whenever you feel more stressful, go for some activities, go for some dancing activities, or go for the activities or the hobbies which you like to do, and your stress will immediately wipe out. But the only thing is to remember that we have to get out of it. It is our stress, so we have to fight for it, we have to get out of it, and we have to move on in life. If you remember all these three mantras to deal out of stress, then definitely you are never going to face stress in your life. With this, I complete my topic, and I would thank you, IIU, and everyone who is present on this platform. Thank you for patiently listening to me, and special thanks to my brother who remembers me every time I'm late, every time I'm sorry because of my hectic schedule. And now we have election time, so my workload is for triple for me. And presently also I'm going for a small function, that's why I asked a chance little early. So thank you for providing me the chance to. And thank you, Professor Dr. Charles Iboria, for once again inviting me and giving me opportunity in this platform. And thank you to everyone being present on this wonderful IIU platform and patiently listening to me. Thank you. You are on mute. Ambassador, you are on mute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing um, valuable information on stress. I noted that stress is a mental aspect that can be dealt by, uh, having time to meditate, to unload, um, and also to have time to breathe. Leaders ought to breathe. Leaders ought to meditate in managing the stress. So when you tackle it mentally, we'll be physically healthy as leaders. Indeed. Thank you so much. Um, Allow me at this time to introduce our last speaker for today, Dr. Obi Adigan Joseph Kayode. Uh, Dr. Kayode is an internationally sought after keynote speaker, multi award winning, certified content marketing strategist, communications and leadership coach, and certified public speaker. Is widely regarded as the go-to source on leadership, entrepreneurship, management. He is also a seasoned, energetic, and motivational speaker with over 15 years of experience in content marketing, strategy, communication, and leadership coaching. He has won various uh, international records. He has written e-books and articles, essays, both locally and internationally. He's also a certified associate business management professional by Uni Caribbean Business School, amongst other very exceptional platforms. It is my honor to introduce you. Over to you, Dr. Kayode.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate you, my brother, for this opportunity given to me. I also want to appreciate especially Professor Charles Eboria, the African Director of International Internship University, for a job well done, always putting up intellectual programs like this. I will not also fail to identify the tireless efforts of Dr. Peus and other management of International Internship University for bringing up platform like this for me to leverage on to share my expertise. I've listened to the speakers, shared their insight on how to manage stress and how to build resilience with the work environment you find yourself. So I'm going to be emphasizing as a leadership coach the relevance of managing stress and how this can bring in productivity and effectiveness. I've heard some of the speakers mention that one way you can manage stress is by having enough relaxation, sleeping. Yes, these are good ways to manage stress. But let me share some intriguing statistics of stress to help you appreciate why it is important to manage it for you to be productive as a manager. According to the Institute of Stress Management of America, it states that about 33% of people are reported feeling extremely stressed. Did you get that? When a research was carried out, it was revealed that about 33% of people were reported to be extremely stressed. And this could be as a result of work-related issues, family issue, personal issue, career-wise, and whatever things that make you to stress yourself. Then there is also another report. The report says that 77% of people experience stress that affect their physical health, that affect their mental health. that affect their reasoning faculty. And another report also has it that 73% of people have stress that impact their mental health, while 48% of people have trouble sleeping because of stress. Now, with that intriguing statistics about stress, it should be noted that regardless of your age, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your religion, no one is immune to stress, especially leaders. Everybody is immune to stress, right? So that said, stress is a burden that is a threat to you as a leader. It affects you to be productive, to give in your best, and be an exemplary leader. Well, you will agree with me that stress is the normal part of life that can help us to learn and grow. Now, take notes. Stress can help you to learn. It can help you to grow if it is well managed as a leader. Yes, it can cost you significant problems if it is not properly managed. Stress can be managed by seeking support from loved ones. In this case, seeking support from your subordinates. Now, you know what? As a leadership coach, I have discovered with utter dismay that so many leaders are insecure. Hence, they don't have the free mind to empower others. And that takes me to the law of empowerment as one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John C. Maxwell. If you want to achieve great potential, if you want to achieve positive results as a leader, you should be able to empower others. In fact, this is one way you can manage stress. I remember that Ambassador Ijeoma mentioned that you cannot be everywhere. As the saying goes, if you are jack of all trades, you'll be what? You'll be master of none. So why do you have your subordinates? Your subordinates are there to always work with you, to always assist you, as it were, to carry out some functional responsibility. So as a leader, it behoves you to empower others so that they can carry out some responsibilities in your absence. Even if you are available as a leader, you will be there to guide them, to show them the way, right? Even if you are there. But now in your absence as a leader, you will be getting positive results because you have already created the room for others to improve themselves. You have created the room for others to get empowered, to take up roles, to take up responsibility in your absence. So stress, you can compare it to a spice. You know what a spice is? It gives a flavor to meal if it is properly measured. Take note, if it is properly measured. So if stress, as it were, is not properly measured, what happened? It goes overboard. It affects your mental health. It affects your sleep. It affects your relationship with people. So in the right direction, if a spice is put in a meal, for example, what happens? It makes the meal be enjoyable to you as the cook and also to others that will eat the food you are preparing. Now, how is that related? How is that analogy related? When you manage stress as a leader, it enhances the flavor of the mission, the vision, the objective attainment of your organization. You know, just like a dish, if a spice is well measured, it enhances the flavor of that dish. And when it is too little too, what happens? It produces a bland, a dull meal. Too much may also choke you. So it has to be properly managed. That is what you need as a leader. You don't want to isolate yourself. You want to empower people. I think I need to re-emphasize that. Isolation can make you to be stressed up, can get you frustrated as a leader. Everything, as John C. Maxwell says, rises and falls on leadership. So if your subordinates are not achieving results, you as a leader will be blamed because you are not putting systems in place, you are not putting structures in place, there are no strategies to measure the effort of your workers. So for you to manage stress, you can't do it all alone. You have to have people around you to work with you. Stress can cause, irritability and impatience with other people because you are the only one taking up responsibilities. You believe you are Mr. Know-all. Others cannot be trained to do carry out some other responsibility. Now, this negatively affects your professional relationships. It dampens your desire to speak up or provide information to those that need to be charged. I mean, to your subordinates, to your team that needs to be charged. So for you to manage stress, don't isolate yourself. Empower others to carry out some responsibility. All right? That will help you to have a balanced mental health. You also have a physical, well-managed mental health as a leader. And as the leader, if you want to increase your capacity and also at the same time maximize your true potential, your first step is always to have the best team with you. And that is what the law of the law of empowerment that I mentioned as one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership that John C. Maxwell emphasized in this book. And also the law of connection, your ability to connect with others. When you have the right structure in place, you have the right system in place, and there are strategies to carry out responsibilities with your team, then it becomes very important. It becomes much more easy, I mean to say, to manage stress. The law of empowerment emphasizes the fact that only secure leaders can give power to others. I did mention earlier on that when you are insecure, if you believe that others will take over your responsibility as a leader, you now overburden yourself with more responsibility than normal, than usual. You become stressed up mentally, physically. You will have sleepless nights because you are the one doing all the talkings. You are the one carrying out responsibilities that should be delegated to your team. So it becomes very important. When you become a leader, you lose the right to think about yourself. Always think about others too. When you are threatened, all right, or you feel threatened, you feel insecure as a leader, the possibility could be that you are thinking about yourself. You are not thinking about others. You are not thinking of developing others to become a better version of themselves. So as a leader, when you become a leader, you lose that right to think about yourself. You must be willing to give up more than the people you lead. Did you get that? You should be willing to give up. You should be willing to overlook some responsibilities that should be delegated. Yes, I understand the fact as a leadership coach, and also as a leader of organization, that there are some sensitive decisions that can be taken strictly by the leader or by those at the helms of affairs. Is understandable, but there are still some responsibilities that can be carried out by your subordinates. This way, you will be able to manage stress that you may pass through. You see, the problem of so many leaders that I have worked with is that it comes when they think they have earned the right to stop making sacrifices. As a leader, it is your responsibility to make sacrifices. So it is believed by, especially by the newbies leaders, they believe that once they have the mantle of leadership, they have earned that right to make sacrifices. No. You must sacrifice your time, you must sacrifice your resources, you must sacrifice everything to make sure that your team work. And one way you can do this is by delegating responsibility to those that are capable. I mean, putting the right peg in the right hole becomes very important. If your stress is not well managed, you can't do away with having negative mood. In fact, research shows that people want leaders with a calm demeanor and positive outlook. And if responsibility are not delegated, if you don't empower others, you will struggle with having positive mood. You will always have a negative mood, which will have negative effects on the productivity of your team. So unmanaged stress can lead to this display of negative emotion. And what are these negative emotions? Anger, unnecessary anger, irritability, which can reduce trust and confidence among your team or amongst your subordinates. So although crisis can seem overwhelming, is understandable, there are some crises that can come that that you need to be strategic in managing that. It is possible to learn to cope with and lead through the circumstances when you properly manage your stress. And what are the things that you need to do? Recognize that physical warning signs of stress are always there. So once you recognize the signs, one of the signs is fatigue. Everyone has different physical reactions to stress. As a leader, identify these physical signs. And what are these signs? You will have stiffened muscles. You will always have a constant headache. You will always have a teething grinding, and stomach ache. Pay attention to the physical symptoms to recognize the stress in your life as a leader and how to manage this. The physical signs, you know what it helps you to achieve? It reminds you that you need self-care. It reminds you that you need to manage your stress level. And one way you can do this, I repeat that again, is by empowering your subordinates to carry out some responsibility. So leading well is not about enriching yourself as a leader. It is about empowering your team. It is about giving them power, as it were, to carry out some tasks. So regardless of your age as a leader, regardless of your regardless of your age as a leader, regardless of your religion, you are not immune to stress. You are not immune to the burden of stress. In fact, stress demonstrates that you are working, right? Take note, stress demonstrates that you are working. What you only need to do is managing it, giving it proper attention. And then another way you can manage stress as a leader is before you make decision, pause. It is easy for leaders to get sucked from experience into frenetic and nature of a crisis, feeling they always need to be fully responsive, to be fully involved in every activity. That is where delegation comes in. That is where you need to empower others to carry out some responsibilities on your behalf. So you want to pause to reset and focus on activities, on how your objectives, on your missions are being achieved systematically, following due process. Pausing to research and focus can also contribute to better reception of message, of critical updates, where you need to go back to the drawing board, as it were, or you need to continue with the existing protocols, the existing actions, the existing steps that has been taken to make sure that you achieve results. Leaders can adopt a routine of 5 to 10 minutes break each hour in order to assess stress signals. So within 5 minutes, reassess the level of stress you are passing through. And it will also help to manage your emotion too. It will help to manage your mental health. As a leader, leadership communication requires messages delivered with calm confidence. And a few minutes is enough for leaders to take a break, take some breath, consider the next step, and then prioritizing self-care cannot be overemphasized. So for you to perform at your best as a leader, it becomes very important that you need to recharge, you need to recover, and you need to stay fueled. All right? In fact, research shows the importance of movement and exercise. I remember that Professor Ravinder Rena mentioned that you don't need to station yourself in a particular location. You may need to walk around, when you are carrying out some responsibilities, especially when you are using, for example, you have a laptop, always on with your laptop carrying out some important task. It is important that you consider, relaxing yourself. Prioritize restorative activities such as exercise, outdoor recreation, talking to friends and family, mediation, even prayer too is important. I'm not being religious here, but when you also see the importance of affirmation, as mentioned by Ambassador Ijeoma, you always affirm positivity to your life. It helps you to manage the situation you find yourself. It helps you to assess where you have been, and positivity helps to achieve positive results. Even if negativity is imminent. All right, it has been mentioned that you need to sleep. That cannot be overemphasized. In fact, with extended working hours, more demands and increased worries, proper sleep becomes very hard these days. But you just have to manage, your sleeping rates, your sleeping habits for you to achieve your goals as a leader. And then conclusively, I think I also need to emphasize that you need to ask yourself as a leader, am I willing to make sacrifices? Am I willing to give up my rights for the sake of the people I lead? These are the two questions you need to ask yourself if you want to properly manage your stress. I take that again. As a leader, are you willing to make sacrifices? What is your answer? Good. Are you willing to give your rights for the sake of the people you lead? Your answers to these questions will determine whether your stress will be well managed or otherwise. So managing stress as a leader is not negotiable. In the face of challenges or difficulties, it becomes very important that you take note of these few points that I have mentioned from time to time for you to be an effective leader and achieve productivity or effectiveness in your task or in carrying out your responsibility. Thank you very much. I appreciate once again Professor Taz Iboria and my co-facilitators for the insights you have shared so far. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Kayode. as a way of comment, it has been said leaders are not immune to stress. It is something that we as leaders must deal with strategically. So the strategy that he talked about was that we should both empower ourselves as leaders and people who we lead. He also touched on character as well. You must be a leader that is often to the team that you lead. You must be a team player, a team worker. You mustn't do all the roles by by all by yourself as a leader. So is the way of developing the resilience as a leader is that you must empower ourselves and not only empower ourselves but also empower our the team that we work for. Thank you so much, Dr. Kayode from Nigeria, for sharing this valuable information. All good things, ladies and gentlemen, come to an end. It is time to conclude this wonderful event, and indeed we've witnessed some new ideas, techniques, and interest and developing resilience as a leader. So, as a way of closing, allow me to invite Professor General Obori, our convener here, to give us closing remarks. Over to you, Professor. Professor Charles, are you there?
Hello. Hello, who is the next speaker now? Is Dr. Kofi there? Dr. Kofi, are you there?
You said that is in a place
Dr.
where
Kofi,
there's too
is
much
he there?
interference. You said it's in a place where there's too much interference, so you won't be able to make it today. There's too much commotion and noise in the background, so you won't be able to come through.
Okay, meaning Dr. Kofi is not around. Is Dr. Kofi around? Hello?
No,
Yes,
Dr. Charles,
yes,
no,
sir.
he's not around. He's
Not
not around,
around.
Dr. Charles. Yes, all the
Okay,
speakers are done. All the speakers
who
are
is the
done.
next speaker now?
They are done. We
There
are
is no
all
next
done.
Who is the next
speaker,
speaker now?
Prof. Charles. We need to conclude. We need to
Okay,
conclude.
thank you very much. Is Professor there, Professor Ravina. Is it there? Ravinda, is it there?
Yes, yes, I am here.
Professor Ravina. I want you to appreciate every one of us. Thank us for our work. Before you now hand it over to Dr. Inga, so that at least we hear one or two things from her. She will give us the closing remark and the closing prayer.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, everyone. Is finish?
Professor Ravinda, give us a comment and
Yes,
closing remark.
I'm here.
Appreciating everybody.
Prof. Charles,
Appreciating all
you want
the
me to
speakers.
conclude?
Yeah. Actually,
That's
I need
fine.
to appreciate everybody. It seems it's not
Colleagues,
hearing me.
good evening once again. We have done an excellent job today, and the topic that was chosen was very important. It's the stress level management for leaders. Can you able to hear me, colleagues?
Yes, we can hear.
You are distracting me. Oh. You.
Hello, Dr. Charles.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just give a closing remarks? I think we have lost Dr. Ravinda. Okay, I would like to thank all those. All right, thank you.
Thank
I would like to thank IIU for giving us this opportunity today to deliberate on stress management and on how to be resilient as leaders. I would like to thank Dr. Charles, the African head of IIU. And then thanks to our moderators, Ambassador Tatenda Mpofu and Dr. Kofi Abochi, for moderating very well today and summarizing what all the speakers had said. I would like to thank our speakers today, all the speakers, Dr. Ravinda, Dr. Adeogun, and we had Esther, and especially on stress management, we all had so much takeaways from what they were saying today, and I hope it is going to help us in how we manage as leaders, how everyone, as some speakers said, we are one leader in one way or another. It can be a prefect, it can be a student leader, it can be at a college, it can be at a university, it can be at any organization. We are all faced with stress in our everyday lives. You can be a leader at home as well. So we all face stress every day, and I hope we have done much justice on how to manage stress and how to be resilient leaders in each and every day of our lives. Thank you so much to our moderators, and I hope today we've done much justice to the topic. Over to you, Dr. Charles, for the prayer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patricia. You really tried. I need to thank God for you. Dr. Inga, thank you very much also. I appreciate you too for having that patience with us. This is your first time of coming. I pray that God come to empower you also. Empower every one of us as we are living here. The peace of God shall rest upon us. The anointing of God shall rest upon us. The power of God shall rest upon us. The strength of God shall rest upon us. Everything about us will be well. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, IIU, for everything. May God come to strengthen IIU. May God come to empower IIU. May God come to bless IIU. It is well with IIU in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.